What's up, you guys? It's Zamara, and today I am back with part 2 of what's possibly going to be 3 or 4 of my little discussion of my ideal man. And I just feel compelled to say that during part 1, I kind of lost control because I ended up sort of turning it into a rant. But at the same time, it's relevant to what I'm saying because an ideal man would be someone who is truthful to you. And then I found myself speaking out of the frustrations that I have experienced during relationships. And yeah, I guess it's good that it just happened because that way I don't have to do a video on it. And it's sort of like, this is just a massive relationship talk. But anyway, so yeah, let's dive right into part 2. And my commitment is to not turn it into such a rant, but it's like, you know, if I do, it's alright. Okay, so my next point is that my ideal man, of course, is handsome. And let me define handsomeness for me. Yes, some of it can be physical because, hey, you know, there's that attraction going on. But when I compliment a man and I call them handsome, that's like the biggest compliment I've considered I give out. And really what prompts me to say that is this guy will just take care of me and shows off his strengths and flirts with me and is affectionate and delicate toward me. I'm just going to leave it at that. And as I continue on my next point, it'll become apparent why I say this. Alright? Additionally, he gets to know me when massaging me, for example. He understands that I'm fragile and remembers that. I like to give massages. I've done it for quite some time. And then it's really different when you have someone who's, okay, you know, guys are naturally, you know, like just bigger than you and chunkier than you and whatever. But if you have a guy who really takes his workouts seriously and is like bulky, that's kind of different because you're actually dealing with nothing but pure muscle. Well, sometimes guys kind of forget that you don't have the same resistance that they do, and then gentle for me is like them diminishing what in Dragon Ball Z would be their key level down to the bare minimum. And then for me, it's just I tend to remember the spots that are most uncomfortable for you, like the ones that you're more likely to be sore at and whatever. So, you know, I do my thing and I know how to handle it. But I have yet to meet someone who's the same way toward me. It's like, oh, I know that your lower back is always busted. And I know that this is the way you like to go about it. And yeah, for me, my ideal massage is like you use mostly your fingertips and you sort of apply pressure. And whatever you do, stay off my sides because, yeah, my sides just send me in excruciating pain because it's odd. Some spots are so bony and there's also like a lot of veins running through there. So if you happen to poke one of those by accident, you know, I might pass out. But anyway, basically just remembering the little details. Massages very easily can be an intimate thing. So like you might as well remember the details of, you know, what's nice and whatnot. And just that way we don't have to ask for it. Because when you have to constantly ask for something, it almost feels like you're not caring enough to remember those little nice details, you know. It's like you get to know someone's body. And you know, that's... But anyway. Additionally, I can tell him anything and he'll be cool. Like, not just sometimes. And what I mean by that is there are times in which I will bring up a topic that may be unpleasant to discuss. If there's something that impedes you from handling that conversation at that time, just say something. Be like, hey, I really care about what you have to say, but right now is not a good time. I'm kind of overwhelmed. My brain is fried. I had a long day. I could really use listening to something a little more positive. Anything except pushing you away and you being at their mercy. It's like, oh, today I'm in a good mood, so it's okay for us to have this conversation. Or, I'm in a bad mood today, so, almost like an FU type of thing, consistency. I bring that back. Just be consistent. If you're a guy who I was able to tell very awful and deep stuff before, I expect for you to remain consistent, because if you were able to handle it before, why can't you handle it now? It's no different. So, stuff like that. Also, he can express disagreement without changing his tone and being a frustrated dick to me. This is one that I really, really experience a lot, and we have trouble. I want to say this is one of my biggest turnoffs. I can sum it up with a quote that I'm not sure if I have mentioned yet somewhere in the channel, but my dad used to have as a signature in his email. It would translate to something that reads, "That truth doesn't yell, it convinces." So same thing here. If I am speaking and you disagree with something very, very, very much so, you can express it, but you don't have to recur to a very rude and just unpleasant tone of voice and attitude. I just don't tolerate anybody yelling at me or shouting at me or screaming at me. Why would you, the person, the guy who says who loves me every day, feel the need to recur to that? I don't do it. And then, trust me, in every man who I date, I find something that I can really be annoyed by and angry by and shout it to him. But I don't do that. So if an individual who has challenges and difficulties handling her emotions can do it, you can do it. So let's just be civilized, because it's getting pretty absurd. Another point that I have is a guy who just doesn't bail out on my plans. And it's very simple. If I have been talking to you for months about something that I'm interested in doing, and you say you're cool with it, and the moment of truth comes, I'm still expecting for you to be cool with it and for us to roll with it. But sometimes when the moment of truth comes that very day, when it's like, hey, so did you take that time off, or are you, we're still down for this and that, and all of a sudden you say no? How do you expect me to respond? Of course I'm going to be annoyed and irritated at that time, because I've been looking forward to this, and you all of a sudden flip the tortilla on me, and you didn't man up enough when you sensed that you had zero intention of going with this, and you didn't say it on time, just ugh. Also, a guy who thinks of us and not in an I form. Oftentimes there's a guy who will simply be like, oh, I gotta do this and I gotta do that, but they never really involve you. It's pretty annoying. So anyways, yeah, you guys, this concludes part 2, because I kind of rambled on other stuff, but I'll be right back. Thanks for tuning in, and see you soon.